Well, here we are, Ignite Humanity Live, and so happy to have you join us. I'm Lady JB, your host, and we're talking about ways to ignite humanity and do something powerful and impactful and make a difference on the planet. And we come together every morning or evening or afternoon, wherever you are on the planet, but we do it so that we can share ideas and suggestions on ways that you can ignite humanity right in your life, starting with you. Doing things that create a ripple effect around the globe, around people in your sphere, right in your neighborhood, right in your family, things that you can do to inspire others and make them feel better about themselves, because we all deserve to feel in our incredible, I call it, zone of genius. Each and every one of us have a zone of genius, and we deserve to be expressing that, living that, and experiencing that. And this show is all about ways that you can enjoy your zone of genius because you're willing to step into it, identify, and really use it to your benefit so that you're being the best version of you, and that allows you to be the best version and an example to others. And so today on Ignite Humanity Live, we're going to talk about ways for you to connect with each other. Fridays are all about connection and how to build connections and create connections, because truly it's connections that bring us together. And if we're going to ignite humanity, we want to feel more connected to our neighbors and to our friends, to our community, to our fellow men, women, to our fellow children, to our all the people in our close vicinity and the people around the world that we don't even know. We want to feel a deeper connection, not what's going on in the world right now where we're feeling separated and apart. We have the ability to touch the lives through our stories and through our experiences. And so Ignite Humanity Live showcases individuals with really unique stories where they're willing to share that vulnerable part of themselves so that you can glean something fabulous in your own lives by listening to their story and mirroring their story and reflecting upon their story and allowing their story to ignite you and inspire you and really percolate inside of you that, you know what, if they can do it, I can do it. If they can get there, I can get there too. If they can overcome that, I'm sure I can overcome what I'm going through. And if they can reach a place where they're using their story to actually benefit themselves and others, well, you can too. And so taking your story and really transforming it, we love to say, tell your story, transform your life, you can make a big difference. Now, last Friday was Good Friday, and we had this big buzzword going on. Good, good, good. It's gonna be a good day. We're gonna have good fun, and we're gonna have goodness to ourselves. And so I was thinking about today, what would today's Friday feel like? And the word precious really came up. How can we make every single day precious and enjoying those small little moments, those precious little moments that touch our heart and endear us to one another? And I think about, I get a great hello from the bus driver, or you're at the grocery store and somebody smiles at you because you picked the same piece of fruit. Or there's just these precious moments where your kids come home and they hug you extra tight with you not even having to ask. These really precious moments of connection. And what I'd love for you to do today is be in search of that, be prepared for that, and be willing to know that it's coming to you. Sometime today, you're going to have a precious connection moment. Something precious is going to happen that's really going to create an emotion in you of connection and this idea of humanity and people willing to create connections. And I want you to savor it. I want you to notice it. I don't want you to just pass it by like we do so often. I really want you to be like, you know what, JB was talking about precious moments today, and that was a precious moment. And so wherever you are in the world, make sure today you're out on a boat and looking for it and waiting for it and thinking it's around the corner, because precious moments are indeed precious, and we need to acknowledge them, recognize them, and in fact, be waiting for them to arrive. All right, well, I have a precious guest today I'd love to share with you. Miss Tina Lunde got her first coaching diploma more than 20 years ago, and since then she has non-stop studying and now holds diplomas in personal leadership coaching, stress coaching, art therapy, dialectic behavioral therapy, meta cognitive therapy, prevention and relationship enhancement programs, meta health, TFT, and many, many more. It's an incredible list, and you're going to love hearing from her. In 2019, Tina contributed to the international best-selling book, Ignite Your Health and Wellness, and she is an advocate for personal leadership. Such a joy to listen to. You're going to love her. Welcome to the show, Tina. Come on in.
Thank you so much, Lady JB.
So
Pleasure to
happy to
be
have you
here.
here, and it's just a joy to connect with you. I know lots has been going on since you and I last got to dance and hang out together. Tell me
Yes.
what's been new for you. What's been exciting? What's been on the forefront? What are you unpacking and percolating in your life these days?
Well, actually, being a part of your book, Ignite Health and Wellness, it was a pretty big thing for me because I was forced to reflect. I was forced to reflect on these Ignite moments and where I had made a massive change. And I usually just go about my life and not really think about it. But then when I had to put it into paper, I realized, wow, I seriously have moved on a lot, but I've also a lot to learn. So since then, I have gone into more personal leadership. I have developed this kind of journal calendar because I want people to move on with their dreams. I
Mm,
think, especially with the COVID coming, everybody, when we were stuck at home, we were thinking, oh wow, when we get back into real life, we want to do this and that, and then we get back into real life, and boom, we are just back in the hamster wheel and forgotten
true.
everything we thought about. So I thought, how can I do something about that? So I'm in the middle of creating a big calendar journal so I can help people actually move on with their dreams, move on with the goals that they set. So not another year just go by. So that is what is taking up most of my time these days.
I love it because it's true. A lot of people do talk about having a dream or they talk about something that they want to do, but they don't take action on it or they don't break it down. Tell us a little bit about some of the ways that you're supporting people in going after their dreams or doing their leadership. Give us some ideas and some suggestions.
Sure. Well, first of all, I think it's really interesting that most people actually don't really know that they have a dream, because
Hmm.
we dream when we're kids and then we grow up. And I can say from my own story that I've been told many times to be realistic and, come down to earth and on all that. And so I stopped basically dreaming. And it was not until a couple of years ago when I was studying with Bob Proctor that I really learned how to connect with my dream again, to allow myself to dream. So this is what I'm basically teaching people now, because if I ask them, what is your dream, they're like completely blank in their face. They're like, I don't know. So I asked them to basically imagine, if everything was possible and you knew that you could not fail, what would you do? That is something that can sparkle, and I think that most of us have something we could say we would do if we knew we could not fail and everything was possible. So I said, okay, so that's a place to start. And then I asked people to imagine, how a dream day looks. I asked them, basically, how do you wake up in the morning? Where do you wake up? How does your bed look? What is it outside your window, your curtains? How do you do your morning routine? Do you do yoga? Do you drink coffee? Do you do smoothies? Who do you wake up next to? And so on and so on. And I built it up from 1 day to 1 week to 1 month. And a lot of people are struggling with this process because they simply cannot go into there. There are so much in this whole about how. This is not possible, Tina. I cannot do this. I said, but
Hmm.
forget about the how now. Just dream. And then we will reverse engineer afterwards. But right now, you don't even know what you dream about. So that is really inspiring, and it's been really inspiring for myself as well, because I realized that I was not going after my dream to begin with, and now I am. So I have to take my own medicine, right? And I just love that, but it's also really scary.
I think it's so fantastic because I went through a similar experience a couple of summers ago. We were cycling across Canada and we had this big RV that was following us, and we had a big button on the side, painted in a graphic wrap, and it was like press the button and ignite your dream. And we would get people to come up beside it and use it as an Instagram photo and be like, press the button and ignite your dream. Tell us what your dream is. What are you making possible? And so many people were like, I don't know, or I have to think about that. Or
Yeah,
often people said, I'm not willing to say, I'm
yeah,
not willing to
yeah,
share. I don't
yeah,
want people to know. And I found it quite interesting that the kids loved pressing it, and they would immediately tell what their dream was. But the adults were very apprehensive and timid to
Yeah.
speak out about what their dream was. And like you just said, many of them didn't know. They didn't have a clear focus on what their dream is. And
Yeah.
so I love what you just said about if it was absolutely going to happen and guaranteed to happen and there was no reason why it wouldn't happen, what would it be? And that really does open up the mind to think limitlessly of what is possible or what can I imagine or dream of, because we let that fear of failure stop us.
Yes, for sure. Yeah.
And so when you're working with people about their dreams, is it something that you feel is like a muscle that we can like mature and nurture? Do you feel that it's generational? Do you feel that it's societal? Do you feel that it's something that we just recondition ourselves to understand?
Well, I think it's a muscle, as you said. We all are capable of doing it. You know, it's one of our mental faculties. We are just so out of practice. We're so
Mm-hmm.
out of practice using it. You know, as you just mentioned, kids can dream themselves to the moon without
Yes.
hesitating, and they're not even ashamed of saying it. We can dream ourselves to the moon, but we are ashamed of saying it. It's like, I can't say that because what are they going to think next door, and so on. And so I think that it's fear. Basically it's fear, and it's our story that holds us back. So once we realize that we don't need anybody else's approval for us to live our dream, then we're set free. But I think a lot of people are struggling with that, basically because they don't know how to do it. They have never been taught. We have never been taught in school how to be in ourselves. We are so what do you say? We're conditioned by what's happening around us. So we have shut off, you know, with the head.
Mm-hmm.
We are not connected anymore. So by coming into you and knowing what is it that I want, then I am more willing to actually do what it takes. And I need a goal for that. Otherwise, I will just get back into the hamster wheel really, really soon after, you know, I set out an intention. So I think we have to have the dream, and we have to have a big goal in order for us to be willing to move ourselves, to evolve, and to grow. And basically that's why we're here, right? To love and to grow.
I think, you know, igniting your dreams and going after your dreams and mapping out your dreams is absolutely going to ignite humanity. I totally agree. Imagine if everybody was living in the center of their dream, living, aspiring towards their dream, going after their dream, being supported in their dream. I mean, we would have a completely different mindset if all of us were like, yes, oh my gosh, look, you're living your dream. Oh, that's wonderful. Oh, you're going after your dream. That's fantastic. Oh, you need help with your dream. Let me help you. I mean, we would be such a different community. It would be a really beautiful place. Now, you said something that was quite profound, as you said, many of us are stuck in our story. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, well, that was also one of the things that I realized for myself when I was writing in the book, because the whole story was basically about how I was not planned to be. You know, my mom and dad were not planning to have me. I was an accident, and that has been a part of my story my entire life until I saw that in paper, and I was like, wow, you know, why am I connecting myself with this? You know, this is 40 years ago. I don't need to be a part of that story. Obviously, it's a part of me, who I am, but I don't need to connect with that story anymore. So I started studying a little bit about that, and I realized that that's basically what is holding most of us back in our moving forward, really, or in our growth, because we keep reconnecting to a story that might have happened 20 years ago, or maybe even before we were born, if our parents broke up or something like that. Oh yeah, I'm just a child of a divorced, you know, whatever. And so I think that I'm trying to teach my clients, you know, you might have a story, but you are not your story anymore.
Mm-hmm.
You can rewrite your story, and you are actually capable of writing the story that you want. You just need to know what you want. And then we come back to the dream, because a lot of people don't know what they want. So they have to do that work as well. And I think a lot of people, when we get to the part where you actually have to to write out your dream person. Who is it that you want to be? You know, people get sort of like candlelights in their eyes, because now they are in the process of actually allowing themselves to dream. And then, you know, they can dream that they're doing fitness every morning or yoga, and they're eating well, and so on and so forth. And I think that that's important, because we need to have something to strive for in order for us to move on. And once we know we don't need to be a part of that story anymore that's holding us back, it's easier to keep on the good trends or the good habits that we have been taken, in.
And you know, most people, you know, if you think about all the great stories, we don't listen to Harry Potter talk about how he was an orphan over and over and over and over again, chapter after chapter after chapter. Every single thing he does, if he was just going back to that he was an orphan and he was an orphan and he was an orphan, we as the reader would be like, okay, let's move on. Our excitement and our attraction and our interest in people happens when we see them evolving through their story. And yes, the book begins with his plight and his status and where he is in his world, but he, through his own effort, evolves. And I think all great characters, when you think of all the great characters, you know, Scarlett O'Hara, like, she started out one way, but throughout the story, with the war and losing and everything, she changed. Every single character changes tremendously throughout their story, and each chapter is a unique part of the story. So for you, I'm sure you have a story. You shared a little bit. Was there an ignite moment that really kind of made you realize that this is now what you want to do? You know now that this is ways that we can ignite humanity?
Well, I when I was 40, I found out that I had a thyroid disease. And it came to as a shock when the doctor told me that I had to be on medication for the rest of my life. He said that it was not shortening my life as diabetes, but I still had to take medication. And I was like, what? I am 40 years old. Are you kidding me? There is no way I'm going to take medication for the rest of my life. And so I really set out on a journey to figure out what can I do, because I knew that a lot of the diseases that we contract, if you can call it that, is from the mind. At that point, I'd already been doing a lot of coaching and stuff like that, but I was not completely locked into the whole mind thing and how much we can actually do just with the mind, just with our thoughts. So the ignite moment was when, you know, I had to go on medicine, and I was like, there's no way I'm going to do that. And basically ever since, I was on medication for a year and a half, and then I worked my way out of it, even though that the doctor said it was not possible. So I have been out of medication for many years now. So I'm really a living proof of that. You don't necessarily have to take medication for the rest of your life, even though that somebody says you have to. But of course, I'm not telling people, you know, drop your medication. I'm just saying, be curious. Be curious what might be the underlying theme of why we're struggling with the things we are. Because of course, things are accumulating into the body over the years. And I think as we can contract them, we can also get rid of them somehow. And that's obviously really some things are easier than others, for sure. But I think we are in control of a lot more than we think.
I'm the same. You know, people tell us, and let's just say the word, you know, doctors or teachers or somebody of authority will say something and decide something. And it's up to us to decide if it is true for us, if it is real for us, if we want to accept that as our reality. I think every single day things are put in front of us to say, you're this, you're that, you have this, you could be this, you could be that, you could do this. And we get to choose which one we really want to adapt into our lives. And interestingly enough, you know, we sometimes take the doctor or the teacher or the expert because we feel like they know better than us. But I like what you said. You got curious and you started to look at other facets of it, and then decided that was not going to be your story and you wanted things to be different. And of course, now they are. So bravo. Yeah. I love that.
I also want to get back to the whole thing we just talked about a little earlier about the story, because I think if people realize that they don't have to be their story anymore, then they actually use the story to move forward into something greater. And basically, that's what I have done with my story. But also, if you look at other people who are have great success in life, they have failed many times and they
Mm.
have had lots of things happen to them, but they get up again. They don't get stuck down and say, oh yeah, it didn't work, so I might as well just stay down. No, they said, okay, I'll find another way, I'll find another way, I'll find another way, and suddenly they're a success in their own way. So I think that the story is good to have, but we don't have to melt into the story and let the story control us. We should control the story.
Yeah, and many people who are successful, who are doing successful things, you find out about them, years into their process, years into their story, and you're like, oh, that just happened to them. But yet they have a huge backstory of their own trials and tribulations and their dedication and perseverance that got them to their success that sometimes we don't know about because we're only seeing the results of their story or the results of their journey, which is a very,
Yeah.
very good point. I think the truth is that we all can define and decide what our story is. I have a great quote that I love to say. Yeah, your story does not define you. Instead, it refines you. And through your story, there's so much refining. Maybe you've been through trials and tribulations and struggles, and that was used to like refine you, like diamond, polishing a diamond that's really helped you become a better version of yourself. And I think that what makes Ignite stories so powerful is that the people in the Ignite community and those people who love their Ignite moments see the silver lining in their story, and they're able to use their story and their Ignite moment in a way to empower them. And I think that that's really what you and I are all about. How do we empower ourselves so that we can do something greater for the people around us?
Yeah, yeah, for sure.
Well, you're very powerful and inspiring. So, what are some final words or some sharing that you would like our listeners to take with them today? I talked a little bit in the intro about precious moments and precious experiences. Is there anything that you would like our listeners to really know that what's possible for them?
Yeah, I love what you said about connecting, and I think that is extremely important in these times we are living in, that we should be able to connect. But I also see that a lot of people are actually struggling with it, and I think one of the reasons is that they're really not connecting to themselves. So
Mm-hmm.
we have to start with ourselves, and what I ask people to do when I am coaching them is to start using gratitude, and I asked them to do a journal. And I'm a little amazed, really, by how many people are actually struggling just to do that, because it's so easy to find everything that faults in their lives and that they don't want, instead of finding what they're grateful for. So I have a small exercise that I think that I will give to you guys, and hope that you can find useful if you are struggling with finding gratitude. And it's very, very basic. I'm just going to explain it. We're not going to do it today, but imagine, or find yourself, in a relaxed position, and put both your hands on your heart. Close your eyes and put some really nice music on, and then just sit there or stand there, be in the moment, and then start feeling your heart. And when you feel your heart pumping, then be grateful for that, because
Mm-hmm.
you have proof, you can feel it. And once you feel that, and once you connect with that, it almost brings tears to my eyes when I do it, because I'm like, oh man, I'm just thinking about, I'm grateful for this, I'm grateful for that, but I forget my heart. My heart is the one that makes me go around. So by starting here, and we can be grateful for that, then I think it's much easier to connect with people around, because we sort of feel love. It gives you love without you saying the word. It can be a scary word for some people as well. So connect with the heart and be grateful for that it is pumping, and
Mm-hmm.
that's a good way to start.
I do that so many times. I'm like, "Thank you, heart. Thank you, heart. Thank you, heart." I'm like so thankful that my heart just keeps going and I don't pay any attention to it. I'm not kind to it. I don't nurture it. I just do what I do. And so yes, taking those moments to just acknowledge how grateful you are for just your heart and then your eyes and then your kidneys and then your liver and then all those other
Yeah.
parts. It's really an
But your
amazing
heart, you
example.
can feel it pumps, right?
It's
And that's
true.
the
It's
big
true.
difference because you can actually feel it's there, whereas the rest it's just, an
Mhm.
organ. But
Mm.
because you can feel it on your hands, you're like, wow, yeah, completely forgot that, but it's so important and so vital.
Well, everybody should be doing that. I'm going to put up on the screen where people can find you. Where are you in the world right now?
I'm in Denmark and it's almost 6 o'clock at night.
I so love that because we have guests from all over the globe coming to this show to talk about how to ignite humanity. And I appreciate you so much. People can find you at tinalunde.com and get to know more about what you're up to, some of your incredible practices, teaching and coaching. We appreciate you so much. Thank you so much for being here. Big hugs to you and
Thank
have a
you.
fantastic rest of your day.
You too. Thank you.
Well, I hope that was helpful for you to think about ways that you could make something precious today and decide to redefine your story so that where you're not living in your story, you're actually creating and manifesting your story. You're building that precious dream that you're going after and doing the things that you absolutely want to do. Take some time today. The weekend is right around the corner to really think about what makes you happy. What do you want your future to look like? And how can you define and redefine everything that you've been through and use that to benefit, propel you, catapult you forward so that you reach the dreams that you're going after. Just take one dream at a time. And then, as Tina said, break it down and re engineer it and go after it because it's possible and what you want wants you. All right. Well, let me share some ways that you can connect with us. If you'd like to be on the show and you've got a fabulous idea, you're igniting humanity, you've got something to share, we would love to see you. And so just reach out to ignitehumanity.life/share and fill out our type form. Tell us a little bit about you and what you're up to. And we would love to have you on the show. As you can see, we like diversity and we love people from all over the world and we like different points of view because the truth is it doesn't matter where we live or our religion or our background or our skin color. We all have this innate desire to want to evolve, be better versions of ourselves, and help people around us. And so we're looking for every single person on the planet to reach out to us and be a part of our show. We're committed to being here day after day, Monday to Friday, every single morning. We are here at 9 a.m. Mountain, 11 a.m. Eastern, and as Tina said, 6 p.m. in Denmark. And we want to share how you can ignite humanity and how you can inspire somebody else to do the same. Well, if you'd like to know everything that we're up to, please go to our website, ignitehumanity.life, and you'll see our more about our book. We're doing an incredible compilation book called Ignite Humanity, a docuseries, a movie, and we are really inspiring others through our Ignite Humanity initiative. And we are helping build schools overseas. If you'd like to be a part of igniting the life of a child and helping us to build a school, to create incredible jobs for teachers and educators, and to make what's possible for kids and allow them to create their dream and write their story, please go to ignitehumanity.life/donate and share a little bit with what you can, because every dollar buys a brick for one of our schools, and those bricks add up, and we would love to have your support. All right, well, if you'd like to watch this episode or any of our other episodes, go to ignitehumanity.live/watch, and you can see our episodes entirely free. They are available to you with no questions asked. Just sign up, and all these episodes are for you to enjoy. All right, hugs and blessings. Take care and have a great weekend, and we'll see you on Monday.
Now, more than ever, we need to come together to connect with one another. We need to feel the truth in who we are and let go of everything that's happened in the past. We need to empower every person on the planet and awaken hearts, enliven souls, come together, laugh, play, rejoice, connect, create, and love. It's time to ignite humanity. We want you to be a part of something that will impact the future for everyone. We want you to tell your story, share your Ignite moment, show people who you truly are. Be a part of igniting humanity and making a difference in the world and all of our futures.